The Indo-Pakistan War of 1971, also known as the Bangladesh Liberation War, was one of the most significant conflicts in South Asian history. This war resulted in the formation of the new nation of Bangladesh and a permanent shift in the Indian subcontinent's political dynamics. The war was more than just a military conflict between India and Pakistan. It was also the culmination of political, ethnic, and economic tensions within Pakistan, particularly between the Bengali majority in East Pakistan and the ruling West Pakistani elite. The conflict stemmed from long-standing grievances, which, when combined with Pakistan's military repression of the Bengali people, triggered a full-fledged war. This conflict eventually involved India directly and decisively, resulting in the establishment of an independent Bangladesh. In 1947, Pakistan was divided into two regions: West Pakistan, now Pakistan, and East Pakistan, currently Bangladesh. Although both areas shared a common religion, Islam, their cultures, languages, and socioeconomic conditions differed vastly. The Bengalis of East Pakistan felt politically and economically marginalized by West Pakistan's ruling elite, which was mainly Punjabi, Sindhi, and Pashtun. The political divide became especially evident in 1970 when Pakistan held its first general elections. In these elections, the Awami League, led by Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, won a decisive victory in East Pakistan, capturing 160 of the region's 162 seats in Pakistan's National Assembly. However, the ruling military government in West Pakistan, led by General Yahya Khan and Zulfikar Ali Bhutto, the leader of the Pakistan People's Party (PPP) in Sindh, refused to accept the outcome. They feared Mujib, backed by the Bengali people, would seek autonomy or outright independence for East Pakistan. Despite being the majority party in Pakistan's National Assembly, the Awami League was denied power, and the military junta in West Pakistan, fearing for its control over East Pakistan, responded with force. East Pakistan made significant contributions to Pakistan's economy, particularly through exporting jute, the primary cash crop. Still, the region did not receive an equitable share of the economic benefits. Much of the wealth generated from East Pakistan's resources was diverted to West Pakistan, leaving East Pakistan underdeveloped. The imposition of taxes, combined with a lack of investment in the region, exacerbated the Bengalis' sense of economic exploitation and alienation. Bengali, the language spoken by the people of East Pakistan, was not given the same status as Urdu, which is considered the central government's language. This sparked the language movement in the early 1950s and fueled further resentment in the following decades. The imposition of Urdu as Pakistan's sole national language was interpreted as an attempt to erase the Bengali identity. This created a sense of cultural and linguistic oppression among Bengalis, who desired that their language and culture be recognized and preserved. The political situation rapidly deteriorated following the 1970 election, in which Sheikh Mujib was denied power. Negotiations between the Awami League and the military junta failed, and in March 1971, the Pakistani army launched Operation Searchlight, a brutal military crackdown aimed at suppressing the Bengali independence movement. Despite the overwhelming force against them, the Bengali people showed remarkable resilience. This operation resulted in widespread atrocities, including civilian massacres, mass arrests, and the targeting of intellectuals, students, and political figures. It is estimated that hundreds of thousands of people were killed during the operation, and millions of Bengalis fled to neighboring India. As the violence escalated, the Indian government, led by Indira Gandhi, became more involved in assisting the Bengali independence movement. India had already provided asylum to millions of East Pakistani refugees, putting enormous strain on the country's resources and infrastructure. Furthermore, India's strategic interests in weakening Pakistan and supporting the liberation of East Pakistan coincided with the Bengali struggle for independence. India's intervention was crucial in the war's outcome, and its impact was deeply felt. On March 25, 1971, in response to a Pakistani military crackdown, Sheikh Mujibur Rahman declared Bangladesh independent. His declaration signaled the start of the Bangladesh Liberation War. the newly formed Bangladesh Mukti Bahini, or Liberation Army, started fighting the Pakistani military. As the conflict escalated, the newly formed nation of Bangladesh declared independence from Pakistan. By December 1971, the situation had become untenable, with millions of refugees fleeing to India, and the conflict between East Pakistan's freedom fighters and the Pakistani military showing no signs of easing. India, which had previously supported the Bengali resistance, officially entered the conflict on December 3, 1971, following Pakistan's preemptive strike on India's western borders. The Pakistani attack on India was interpreted as an attempt to relieve pressure on the Eastern Front in East Pakistan. Still, it proved to be a disastrous move, prompting India to declare war. After Pakistan's attack, India's military launched a two-front war. The Indian Eastern Command, led by General Jagjit Singh Arora, was tasked with supporting the Mukti Bahini and directly attacking Pakistani positions in East Pakistan. India's Western Command, led by General SHFJ Manekshaw, was tasked with defending India's western border against Pakistani attacks. On December 4, 1971, India launched a coordinated attack on Pakistani positions in East Pakistan, moving quickly through the region. Indian forces, working alongside the Mukti Bahini, liberated key cities such as Dhaka, Khulna, and Chittagong while quickly dismantling Pakistani defenses. The siege of Dhaka, East Pakistan's capital, was a defining moment in the war. The Pakistani military was trapped inside the city as Indian forces closed in on all sides. The Indian army, accompanied by the Mukti Bahini, surrounded the town and launched a series of attacks. By December 16, 1971, the Pakistani forces in East Pakistan, led by Lieutenant General A.A.K. Niazi, had formally surrendered to Indian and Bengali forces, bringing the conflict to an end. On December 3, 1971, Pakistan launched airstrikes on Indian airfields in the western region in an attempt to gain a strategic advantage. India's superior air power quickly neutralized Pakistan's air force. Indian forces launched successful counterattacks and captured large portions of Pakistan's western territory, including Jammu and Kashmir. The war attracted international attention, with the Soviet Union strongly supporting India and China remaining neutral. Under President Richard Nixon, the United States provided limited support to Pakistan, owing primarily to its Cold War strategic ties with the Pakistani military. Despite this, the United States declined to intervene directly in the conflict. With its global implications, the Indo-Pakistan War, 1971, marked a significant chapter in world history. The war ended on December 16, 1971, when Pakistan's military surrendered in Dhaka. The Bangladesh Liberation War came to an end when Pakistan's General A.A.K. Niazi and his 93,000 soldiers surrendered to the joint Indian and Mukti Bahini forces. This was one of the most significant military surrenders in modern history. In the aftermath, Bangladesh was officially recognized as an independent state, and the Liberation War was viewed as a victory for the Bengalis. India and the Bangladeshi Mukti Bahini were victorious in the war. India's military intervention was critical to defeating Pakistan's forces in East Pakistan and the subsequent establishment of Bangladesh. The victory marked a significant shift in the regional power dynamics, with Pakistan's defeat tarnishing its military reputation and weakening its grip on East Pakistan. Sheikh Mujibur Rahman led Bangladesh to independence. Following the war's end, Bangladesh gained independence on December 16, 1971. The people of East Pakistan had fought for decades to break free from West Pakistan's political, economic, and military dominance, and their victory in the war paved the way for a new nation. Sheikh Mujibur Rahman became Bangladesh's first prime minister, and he is known as Bangabandhu, friend of Bengal, for his role in guiding the country to independence. The war was devastating for Bangladeshis, with estimates putting the death toll at up to 3 million and more than 10 million refugees fleeing to India. The war also left a deep psychological and social scar on the Bengali people, who were subjected to widespread atrocities, such as mass rapes and massacres by Pakistani soldiers during Operation Searchlight. Pakistan's defeat dealt a severe blow, both militarily and politically. The loss of East Pakistan resulted in the country's disintegration, and the establishment of Bangladesh marked a watershed moment in South Asian geopolitics. Pakistan's military was severely humiliated, and General Yahya Khan's regime came to an end soon after the war. Zulfikar Ali Bhutto, a key figure in the war, eventually became Pakistan's president. The Indo-Pakistani War of 1971 had long-term consequences for the South Asian region. India's victory solidified its position as a regional power, leaving Pakistan weakened and humiliated. The war also shifted the global balance of power in South Asia, establishing the Soviet Union and China as key players there. The war also had an impact on international relations because it was a direct result of Cold War dynamics, with the United States and China supporting Pakistan and the Soviet Union backing India. The Indo-Pakistani War of 1971 marked a watershed moment in South Asian history, resulting in the formation of Bangladesh and a significant shift in the region's political landscape. The war was fought not only between India and Pakistan but also for the Bengali people's right to self-determination after decades of political, economic, and cultural suppression. India's intervention, combined with the efforts of the Mukti Bahini, resulted in the defeat of Pakistan and the establishment of an independent Bangladesh. The war's consequences can still be felt today, as Bangladesh continues to grow as a sovereign nation, while Pakistan faces the challenges of recovering from the aftermath.